Veliyath is with us now, MD of Equity Intelligence. Porinju, good morning. I remember your tweet on the demonetization day, 2 weeks of pain and 2 decades of gains. Those 2 weeks are over. Any signs of gain yet?
The real gains, it won't give any signs in advance. But I'm very confident, Anuj. Now I know a lot of people, the professors, the bookish guys, and the academicians in the markets. They always tell you stock prices reflect the future earning potential of the companies, right? That is why it is more complicated, because it doesn't go by the last year or this year or the next 2 quarters numbers. And that is why there is fun in equity investing, and it's very complex and very dynamic. So if you go by that theory, Indian equities, one cannot be bearish on Indian equities. I am very, very bullish. I used to talk extremely bullish when things are very much down and the sentiment is down. So the people will be attributing so many reasons why market should go down. But most of them are really not correct. Now people will even say FIs are selling. I think, it's not only local operators and traders. Even FIs are experts in monkey jumping. There are a lot of floating FIs, not the real long-term investing FIs I'm talking about. Today, the lot of transaction, what you see every day, thousands of crores buying and selling and net selling. These are like, that monkey jumping FIs, the trading community within the FIs. So investors should not get really worried about those numbers. They are also experts in, buying at the peak and when things are good and selling at the bottom when sentiment is down. So let's be sober and look at the realities of life.
Okay. Well, the reality of life could be that consumption is disturbed for 3 or 4 quarters, and therefore you may get the stocks a little lower, as we get the third quarter numbers, as we get the fourth quarter numbers perhaps. So would you say that you would get more attractive levels to buy?
It's very difficult. I think looking at the valuations in Indian markets, and today people are, they're learning more. They are going beyond a quarter and two. So they will, very soon, Lada, I'm telling you, people, the knowledgeable people, the fund managers, analysts, they will start talking about, the time to look at FY 17-18 financial year for India. So then the whole thing changes. Why some companies which are into big debt today, quoting at 1,000, 2,000 crores market cap, and big loss, companies are making loss today. So people are looking beyond the current numbers or the coming 1 or 2 quarters. And the consumption slowdown may not be rampant on every industry and every stocks. The relevance could be confined to select industries and companies, listed companies. I think our investors are getting more and more educated. They will live with that in the short term. And because equity investing is not for 6 months or 12 months. The real investment, even FIAs, I'm telling you, if you see the FIAs invested in India for last 5 years or 10 years, they are not doing anything. The real long-term investors globally, they are very cool about it. They understand the structure of Indian economy and the markets.
Sure.
And the demonetization is any sensible person will tell you. Of course, there are difficulties. I'm not telling that everything is fine. It's a tough time for everybody. Almost every Indian's life is touched by this demonetization effort. It's not a small thing. Perhaps I would say this is perhaps the single largest economic event in the world, not in India, in terms of the number of lives it touches.
Porinju, let's talk about some stocks now, because there are plenty of stocks that you've been interested in lately. And you've always taught us that one should look at stocks where the industries are going through a bit of a challenge. So aviation is one sector, and I understand that you have been interested in Jet Airways lately. But that stock is at a 52-week low. So I'm trying to understand what the rationale is for, buying into something like a Jet Airways.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia. I think you are very keen on stocks. I hope you are not investing heavily. Anyway, it's true that I have been mentioning about Jet Airways this week. I think somebody happened to mention about it. There are some companies, some stocks are beaten down. And one more interesting point at this point of time, many F&O stocks are more beaten down because of the outstanding positions. Always we will have excess positions when the market's on upswing. And some reasons comes and everybody, get panic and, people throw away shares and the financiers sell shares in a leveraged position kind of environment. So that is why the markets go down below what it should have gone down to. So that is why there's an opportunity always. I'll tell you, Sonia, you see 2009, early 2009, when you look back, what kind of opportunity it was, especially with regard to the mid caps and small caps. From there, the stocks doubled and tripled in no time. And again, in 2013, maybe the early 2013 and the mid 2013, when you look back at some of the stock prices, even the large mid caps, very solid companies and businesses, they have gone, since 2013, they have gone 5 times and 10 times. And similarly, recently we had in February, 2016 February. Now, when you look back, how many stocks, including the Biocon, was one of my stock, if you remember, it has doubled. Even today, it is double the price from this recent February. So these are the pockets of opportunities. And this November 2016 is nothing but a great opportunity for sensible, long-term, genuine value investors.
Okay, we want to ask you where we should put the money for that genuine long-term investing, Porinju. We have an investor, Porinju Veliyath, manager and portfolio manager of Equity Intelligence, on how one might use this adversity, as he calls it, to actually pick up stocks. Porinju, you were telling us about what might interest you at a time like this. Are you looking for the HDFC banks and the SBIs of the world, or are you looking at some very good mid-caps?
I am still with the mid caps, Leda. That's where the big money is made. And this correction, I'm telling you, the mid caps and small caps have corrected much more than the index, what people are looking at. And even large caps, I think this is going to be a very broad-based general rally coming up in the market. I'll tell you the economic impact of what's going to happen. Now, I believe India's economy, our GDP is $3 trillion today. Now, Lada will disagree with me. She will say it's around $2 trillion. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So our economy is not fully accounted, believe me. Our economists or statisticians cannot really go into India's village. We are so big and so wide. It's the number of people living in a country like this in so much space. It's very complex than most of us think. Our economy and the structure of the economy, the poverty, the social issues, the unemployment. I'm telling you, the kind of unemployment India is going to face in the coming years, the biggest single challenge for this country. How many of us are thinking about it? More than 20 million youngsters are coming out of colleges every year. This year we have the highest ever in the history. And that is going to increase 10-15% every year. How are we going to accommodate these youngsters? So the kind of social, economic issues are going to be extremely complex. But one thing is very clear. We can't live with a $2 trillion economy. We need to grow.
No, Porinju, that point is
taken. So, since we are running out of time, I'm taking a viewer query, because you have a lot of fans on Twitter as well. On your recent bet, Sunil High-Tech, what explains that bet? Because, a lot of people say that it's not done anything, but you have been quite bullish, going by the recent buy.
Oh my God. I know it was not a very thought about investigated stock picking. It was my personal, not even long-term trading aspect. I have been buying some infra stocks after the demonetization. I can't tell all the names. I'm always buying smaller and mid-cap stocks. So they are price sensitive, so I don't want to talk about them. I think Sunil High-Tech I just happened to buy. The stock price had gone to some 450 rupees. And in 1 month from there, it has come down to some 170. So that was the only reason. And I have got a habit, or I have a hobby of catching the falling knives.
Yeah, one more falling knife that I don't know if you've caught or not, but that you've been interested in is Walkhart. The stock is down 60% this year, and so many US FDA issues. You think long-term investors should venture into that one?
Walkhart, after the latest thing also, it is really disturbing for an investor. I'm not holding the stock today. But looks very attractive, but I think there are more compelling picks in the market with more clarity. Here we have to see the price in relation to the clarity and visibility going forward and the current discounting. So it's a complex thing in that respect.
Would Orient Cement and Kesoram be exactly the stocks to buy now because cement is gotten beaten down?
Yeah, they looks interesting to me, Lata. Not only them, many of those cement companies and companies related, have come down and 40, 30, some of them 50% down. So there is a perception in the market that, the home building related, or home improvement related products and services can come down. But that again will be temporary. See, Indians ultimately going to consume the same thing what they consumed a month ago. It may take few months. That's the only thing. And there can be some pent-up demand because of this currency shortage. So that pent-up demand will maybe can reflect after 2 quarters with a much higher sales. So see, things should go balanced. Everybody is going to live, and they are going to live comfortably.
Finally, Porinju, Biocon has corrected. That was your favorite stock last year. Are you re-entering it, or is this story done?
Well, I know Biocon is not a deep value at these levels, especially today in the given correction given in the many quality mid caps and small caps. It's not a priority. I think there are much better bets in the market today.
Okay, Porinju, we've run out of time. We would have loved to chat some more, but thank you so much for your